Hey, what's up, y'all? Matt MX is on the mic, and let's talk about All-Star Weekend. So, let's just get right into it. So, first thing I'm going to talk about is the three-point contest. The three-point contest has generally, in recent years, been the best part of the All-Star game, and it might have been this year just by sheer default, but it wasn't as entertaining as years past. In round one, only two guys got over 20 points, and then in round one, I think Hero was the only one who made it over the 20-point mark. The maximum I believe you can get is 30, including all those like special basketballs. So yeah, it wasn't that good of a performance from really anyone. Tyler the Hero was just able to stay relatively strong the longest. His first round performance was not really that good. 19 points. I mean, got him to the final. Congratulations, but it really don't think 19 points in a NBA three-point contest should not be getting you to the final round. I just think that's a little crazy. My guy Cam Johnson, I predicted him to win. If you followed me on Instagram, you'd see that. And he just, especially at the beginning, he looked awful. I don't know what happened. I thought his style of shooting would translate well into the three-point contest, but it really didn't. And it was surprising for me, and very disappointing too. So next, let's talk about the dunk contest. So the general narrative around this event has been a narrative of decline. I mean, I think 2016, that's the one that a lot of people in my generation remember as that this was going to be the dunk contest that would save the dunk contest, but it didn't really end up doing that. It was a one-time thing. I think the 2021 was pretty good as well. I think that's the last time I really enjoyed the dunk contest. I mean, Matt McClung, 3 straight years. This is a guy who barely plays in an actual NBA game ever, and he's been the only reason this event's been remotely entertaining for the past 3 seasons. He's not going to be doing it next season. So this is the last dunk contest we're going to see possibly ever or for at least a while. Who knows? I mean, all these guys on Instagram or socials like Giannis and John Moran, they're like, oh, I'm going to do it next year. It's like, will they actually follow through is the question. I don't think they will. I mean, they could say, oh, yeah, I want to save the dunk contest. But actually doing it's another thing. A lot of these guys just either they don't want the reputation or see it as an unnecessary injury risk. So let's go to the actual game now. So this year, if you were paying attention, it was a new format. So there's 3 teams of 8 players each. They were drafted by different TNT hosts: the Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, and Kenny the Jet Smith. Of course, these teams just so happened to fall into 3 general categories. There was Shaq's OGs. He played with or played against half of his team and played with LeBron. So that was kind of weird. And then Charles Barkley, he had the global stars with representatives from all over the world, at least the basketball playing world. And then Kenny the Jet Smith, he had the young stars with all the rising guys in the league and some older players like Jalen Brunson. But even then, pretty much everyone I think on that team was under 30. And then Candace Parker got to coach the winner of the Rising Stars game, which I didn't even talk about because I just really do not care. So anyway, I think that the actual format wasn't terrible, but the broadcast absolutely was. If you're listening to the broadcast, and you should feel lucky, even though my voice is not that great, you should feel lucky I have this on mute because the actual broadcast was awful. I mean, they had Kevin Hart there, and he was just making more jokes than actual commentary. And it's like some of the players, like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they could hear the commentary, which I thought was weird, and they were legitimately annoyed about it. They just found Kevin Hart very annoying. And another thing is they mentioned Bull more than I think they mentioned actual majority of the actual roster, which rosters rather, but which is just very weird. Like, I mean, yes, I get it. Shaq compared Bull to Wemby, but do we really have to keep making that joke the same 100 times? I don't think so. I get the point. He's better than Bull. I think we all fucking know that. So yeah, the broadcast was awful, but there is some downsides to even the actual format. Like Jalen Brunson, he was voted in as a starter by the fans, and he only saw 8 minutes of game time because his team just wasn't that good. Which is kind of crazy that, these fans and players, coaches, they all voted for this guy to be a starter, and he didn't even play what would feel like an entire quarter. So I really don't know if this format's going to stay.